And I would like to state that we are in the process of marking our institute in the world map. We are going to put the university in the world map. Quality in teaching learning process is our prime focus. Various pedagogies, methodologies are implemented to impact education in the best possible way to the student community. We are exploring all the best practices around the world to be incorporated into Crescent. As educators, we are aware that education does not necessarily...
said and believed, and there is much written about, that the higher education indices in any country is a sign of development for that country. So there's something called gross enrollment ratios. So the countries that are very highly advanced, Western countries, have very high GERs, as they're called. And your living standards, your social behaviors, your law and order situation seem to reflect higher GR as the GER grows. So this point is not debated anymore. India still has a GER in mid-20s. It hovers around 23, 24 in comparison to, let's say, Scandinavian country, which would touch about 90, or highly developed country would be 80, 85. Those of you who are not familiar with GER, it simply means those of us who are gone to school in the age group of 18 to 23 school, and that number still is 23, 24 in this country. That includes all the distance education. Therefore, the point that the Vice Chancellor made, that you are among the highly privileged class, is very astute. And not only you are part of that 23 GER, you are pretty much at the top of the heap of that 24%. So you are extremely privileged to have received education in one of the finest institutions in the country. I believe that no privilege comes without responsibility, and therefore responsibility of many things that education should bring. At the top of that would be your service to society and the so-called nation building processes. So I'm just going to focus on these two rather than give you a long lecture. The education all over the world changed very rapidly in late 70s, 80s. It's expanded, middle class grew. And as you received the education from school to the university versus those who received education in 70, I think the narratives were different. Now education, the colleges or the universities are assuming this responsibility that if you come to university, I have to skill you to find a job the day you leave the university. Education did not mean this. Going to university simply meant that you went to a place for 3 years or 5 years, meet a lot of people, listen to different ideas, learn patience, and learn to be a good citizen. University is supposed to do that even today. It's supposed to give you moral, ethical values. But in addition, university have the responsibility of skilling them. And you hear this word again and again. So these narratives are not going to change. Your responsibility would be that not to forget that your education is to find a job for yourself, look after your family, look after your parents, look after a teacher, but go beyond that. And that's what education is about. I think Vice Chancellor touched upon this. Your responsibility would be what you can do for the society. You read anyone, those who wrote well, Martin Luther King, Swami Vivekananda, you read Mahatma Gandhi, read anyone, Maulana Abul Kalam, whoever you will read. The central in the message of receiving higher education would be one, that your religion and your duty is to serve the society. In fact, if you look at the readings of Newman and Humboldt,